show.
The OG Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah.
The comeback kid.
So you
Something that we can't let go of. We never wanted to.
Right. Yeah, we're all in this together, I guess. Yeah.
How's it feel to be back again?
It's surreal, man. It really is. Yeah, it's like Karate Kid has had this long sustain in my life, and kind of in culture, and it's just, it's just been laid there, and I've talked about it in this, but for it to now have this new life with Cobra Kai and to revisit these characters and these, and bring in new characters in these situations, it's hard to get your head around.
So
go ahead.
It's awesome.
I was going to ask, what's it like to be more sympathetic this time? I mean, the fans love you now.
Yeah, well, John, it's great. He's rough around the edges. On the page, some of the stuff that he says and does, I'm like, wow, man. Like, you sure, people aren't going to hate him? Like this is but it's really like, I feel a connection to this character, and I feel like I know him pretty well. So he's not out for sympathy. He's just out to make his way, and there's something about that I think that people relate to. A guy that's just trying to make his way.
Yeah.
He's leaving. He's not bothering anybody. He's staying out of everybody's business. He almost doesn't even get involved with the fight for Miguel until he gets thrown against his car, and it's like, hey man, don't mess with my car. It's not like he's trying to be a superhero. He's just following his footsteps, and he has a connection with this kid who, in a way, is taking the spot of his own son that he really is craving, and there's a big hole in his heart. He's trying to connect with this son who wants nothing to do with him. So here comes a boy about his age who's responding to him and who's needing him, and Johnny's right to fill somebody up with what he's got, good or bad. So I think all those things make him endearing in a sense. Although you don't play to that. You just do the work, and it's been doing good.
That's awesome.
So your character Johnny had a couple moments of almost redemption, and then there's a setback. So Kreese showing up, it was jaw dropping.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, he's gone.
Yeah, Johnny's up against a lot now. Yeah, for sure. In the Karate Kid, the opening line that I had as an actor ever doing any movie was on the motorcycle at the top of the hill. We pull up and Daniel's down there with Allie, and my guy said, hey Johnny, you want a beer? He goes, no, I'm an ex-degenerate. I got 1 year to make it work, and that's what I'm going to do, make it work. All of it, right? His intention from the time you meet this guy is to make things work, and it's still not working. 35 years later, he still can't make things work. And that's because of the complexity of what's in his life and who's in his life and what he's been taught and what he has to draw. And he's got a very small toolbox. He didn't have a parent. He didn't have a good dad. He had Sensei Kreese, who he loves and adores like a father, but he led him down the wrong road and tried to choke him out. So he's a complex character, He just, he grew up where he grew up. He grew up in the rocks, and he's trying to reach the sun.
Now, so without any spoilers, now you got a little competition. You got Miyagi-Do.
Sure.
Free classes.
Sure, yeah, that's great. Go on over there if you want to do some slave labor. You want to paint some fences, wax some cars, hop on over. Honestly, like Johnny isn't. He's aware of it. I think what Johnny's more upset about, if anything, is that Robbie's training with Daniel, and that his son has chosen, the one person in his life who stuck a knife in his heart to confide in and to trust. And Johnny wants nothing more than to earn that from Robbie. So he's not so concerned about Miyagi-Do. He knows who's karate's king in the valley, although we'll see, right? So
does Johnny feel that Daniel's being a bit spiteful by training your son?
You know what? Really, honestly, he's not even giving it a second look. Daniel just keeps popping up, and he's like, "What are you doing here, man? Like, I'm trying to move forward, And so he's not threatened or intimidated by the idea of Miyagi-Do. What he's intimidated by is the fact that Daniel LaRusso is offering Miyagi-Do for free, because that's cutting on his profit, his business, So if anything, he's not happy about that, and so he feels like he needs to step it up because he's got a business going, and he's got a nice car this season, so he's got to keep that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a great line in the trailer, and I can't remember it exactly, about wanting to beat somebody at their best. So talk about where he's at with the students coming up in this season, and maybe even with Miguel, and how he's going to try and morph him back into something that maybe he originally intended.
Yeah, I mean, he sent these kids down a wrong path in a lot of ways, and the last speech before the tournament, he says, there's one thing I haven't told you, the secret of karate, Cobra Kai, and that's no mercy. And so he sends them out into the tournament and sees no mercy in action from an objective point of view and realizes this is maybe needs some adjusting. And especially when it's his son on the other end of that beating stick. So day one back in the class, you got all these kids who think that they're right. I mean, they listened to their teacher and they went out and they did what he said. But now he has to correct them because Johnny's changing. What's great about Johnny and the kids is that he's working his issues out in front of them. He's giving them things to do and then going, I got to change this, I got to change that. And they're almost like these little experiments. He's lighting these little, sending these little fires off, and then has to put them out a little bit. But now he's really, he's looking inward. He's trying to make some changes if he can, but he's also at his core, as he would say, badass, and he's not going to become a wuss. He's still going to be tough, but he's going to just do it clean if he can. But then you got 3 levels of kids in that class now, 3 levels of generations. We got the generations of these kids. We got Johnny, who's old school, and Kreese, who's super old school. So 3 of those butt heads.
There was a moment in season 1 where it almost looked like Daniel and Johnny were going to be buddies there for just a hot minute. What was that like for you having that moment all those years later after all the things that happened in the original movie?
That moment to play or to see or to read, you mean like
everything, all of it?
I loved it. I couldn't wait to get to episode 9 with Ralph and do that scene. We've had that opposition and the anger between us and the tension between us, but it's great to let some of the armor down and put the sword on the table and have a beer with them, and I love the title of that episode, which was different but same. So they're actually maybe at their core probably more similar than not, but they've just been downloaded. They're completely different products of their environment and of different worldviews, and they're always going to butt heads no matter what. They could never probably work together too well. But I love the idea of how much they were saying exploring that their common ground, and hopefully people can put their differences aside. So there's a part of me that roots for them to work it all out, and I don't think that it's not like they need to brawl, but there's a lot of pain in the history between them, and especially on Johnny's side. He lost his girl, he lost his title. Daniel's doing fine, So it's not like they're both it's not like Daniel lives across the apartment. It's like, hey man, 80s suck, let's go have a beer. Like Daniel's driving around in freaking Audis. He's got this hot wife and a beautiful house, and he's doing just fine. He can offer karate for free, so tables aren't so even right now. But we'll see. It's a lot of fun to play, and a lot of fun to play with Ralph too.
Do you think at the end Daniel takes on your son to spite you, or because his kid needs help? What do you think?
No, I think Daniel's intentions are pure. I think he wants, he sees a need in this kid. I think he really wants to help him.
I don't know, man.
How nearsighted that is, I don't know.
I'm on the Cobra Kai side, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I was a little like,
Daniel's clearly the villain now, man. I'm totally Cobra Kai, man.
Some people said Daniel's been the villain all along.
Well, I'll let you guys talk about all that.
Johnny's moved past Kreese and Sensei, or do you think he traded him? Or
Has he what?
Has he moved past his Sensei, or do you think he still has stuff to learn from his Sensei?
No, Kreese?
Yeah.
No. Kreese is done. I mean, he's letting Kreese back into his life with one eye open and a short leash. He doesn't need Kreese for nothing. In fact, he mostly needs him to leave. At the same time, No, not at all. But Johnny's giving himself a second chance, and he's talking about everybody else getting a second chance. So, he's gonna maybe apply that a little bit to his old sensei, even though maybe can't trust him all the way. And maybe that's gonna be good, and maybe that's gonna be a disaster. We'll see.
Maybe he's honoring him because of what he taught him before, something where he came from before.
It's nothing about honor as much as honestly, it's kind of like a love and a very. Like you love a coach that was not so great to you, but he taught you a lot and was on your side always. And even though it was a lot of pain in there, but so there's a love for these two characters that's a manly kind of father-son, masculine type of thing that all human beings crave, especially men. And they're both doing their best to reach out from behind their broken walls to see if something can work, and I don't know if it can.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, man.
That was fun. I wish we could just like take this one.